You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, we are Enterprise Splaining, the podcast where we explain Star Trek Enterprise to each other and to you. I'm Maria, and these are my co-hosts, Bill.
Hello!
And Jamie.
Hi.
And once again, we are joined by Kevin, who was a guest last week. Kevin, please reintroduce yourself for people who may have forgotten who you are.
Hi. Yeah, I thought I was done, but I guess I am doomed to discuss this Enterprise episode week after week. So
Every time you think you're out, they pull you back in.
It's like one of those nightmares where you wake up and you think you're awake, but you're still in the nightmare.
Well, appropriate for this episode.
Now I'm trying to remember what happened in this episode.
Today, our mission is a second contact. Last week, I told Kevin, Jamie, and Bill what happened in the Star Trek Enterprise episode Vanishing Point. They have now watched the episode and are back with their thoughts. So make sure you listen to last week's episode before you listen to this one. If you don't remember this episode, Jamie, it's the one...
Wait, we got business first.
But before we get into that, we have a couple of things we want you to know about. Jamie and I and Kevin are going to be at DragonCon in a few weeks from when this episode comes out. And Kevin and Jamie are going to be on various panels. You can look them up. I am going to be meandering randomly through the con, and maybe you'll find me, but probably not. Jamie and Kevin, do you want to talk a little bit about what you're going to be doing at DragonCon?
probably most likely the easiest place to find me is at the American Sci-Fi Classics track, which is, I think, the silliest room in all of DragonCon, where we obsess over goofy old movies and TV shows of the past. So I'll probably drift into some other areas. I might do something with the comics track or with the Brit track, I think, possibly this year, but mostly American Sci-Fi Classics track. You can look me up in the app. Jamie's going to be doing like actual science stuff. I will be doing just goofy, silly, stupid things all weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I will be with science track mostly, possibly only. I don't know. Look, Trek has not responded to my email, is all I'm saying.
I can't imagine why.
So I will mostly be with science track, but you can look up my name in the app and it should take you to my panels. So if you're there, please come and say hi. And me and Maria will be carrying around Enterprise Splaining and Porthos badge ribbons for you. So if you find us at con, please come up and say hello and we will give you badge ribbons. Also, I might be in an Enterprise uniform depending on what day you see me.
Yep, me too, potentially.
Secret hint, if you want to meet Maria, maybe hang around the bar area.
It depends on the bar, but yes.
When you say meandering all over DragonCon, Maria means the Hilton Bar.
Yeah, but what I've heard is the Hilton Bar is no longer the place to hang out. So I will be meandering until I find a better place to hang out.
That is true.
Apparently Hilton, no longer the best place.
Yeah, they do not let us just sit there all day anymore.
Which is literally what I would do.
They make us actually just eat. You have to order now. Like, you can't just sit there and not order anything. You have to order things, and then after you finish eating, they make you leave. It's terrible.
Welcome to late stage capitalism.
You'll find us.
And also, we have merch now, all of a sudden. It's fantastic. If you go to our ESO Network page, you can go to our TeePublic site and find Enterprise Splaining t-shirts as well as Porthos Appreciation Society t-shirts. They are fantastic and we love them, and I think you guys will really like them too. So, if you don't remember this episode, it's the one where Hoshi goes through the transporter for the first time and hallucinates an entire episode where she has to save the ship from aliens and wonder if people are ignoring her because of misogyny or just Star Trek science.
And nothing matters.
And nothing matters, and it's completely pointless. So, now that you've seen this episode, what did y'all think?
Welcome to the tagline for Enterprise Splaining. Nothing matters, and it's completely pointless.
I think you did a wonderful job laying this out for us last week, Maria, in that it was just as ridiculous as as you said.
Kevin, what was it like? Because you have not watched an episode of Enterprise in many years, right?
I've not watched an episode of Star Trek, I think, since Enterprise a quarter century ago. Like, I've not seen any of the Lower Decks and Picard and all.
Oh, you're missing out.
Yeah, all that new stuff. I've seen none of it. I really feel like I saw a couple of the Chris Pine like movies, but I don't think I've seen Star Trek on TV since I abandoned Enterprise very early into season 1, almost 25 years ago.
Definitely go back and watch Lower Decks. It is a love letter to all of Star Trek.
Yeah, I hear good things about the newer ones, and I have not seen them yet. So yeah, this was me earlier today watching Star Trek for the first time in literally decades. And the opening shot right out of the gate with the cave, as Maria told us, there's a cave, and right away, my initial thought was, wow, that looks like such a cheap TV set of a cave. Like, I was expecting it to look better, and it looked
like a cave. No.
It looked like Land of the Lost from 1974 to me.
Yep. Not to oversell you, there is literally an episode of Lower Decks that is literally about how shitty cave episodes are. That is
Jamie Loftus episode.
Point episode.
So good.
And it was also, I gotta say, it was fun hearing the song again. That song never went out of my head. Like, I remembered the song perfectly from 20 whatever years ago, but I'd not actually heard the whole thing. And I like it. That's a fun song. I like the opening. It took me a while. The first couple times I was like, what's this? This is not Star Trek. This isn't how Star Trek opens. The song grew on me, and I think it's kind of sweet seeing the montage of the history of travel and such. It kind of started working on me eventually.
Yeah, I think the images of it are great.
Yeah.
They're like
visually, it's fantastic.
It's just the music that sucks. Bill and Jamie, what did you guys think?
Hoshi looked so good in this episode.
Good.
She looked so good. She has never looked better. When there was like the storm coming in and her hair was going everywhere, because her hair was down there too because of the storm, so her hair was going everywhere. She looked so good. And then when she got back on the Enterprise from the storm and her hair was all like windswept, oh my god, her hair looked amazing. And then at the gym, when she had the jacket on with her hair up, she looked good. And then when she took the jacket off and we had the crop top and put her hair down, she still looked good. She looks so good pretty much in anything that's not the main uniforms. I mean, she's fine in the uniforms because she's still like, Linda Park is beautiful. But yeah, the Enterprise uniforms are just not that flattering, but like everything else, everything else that she wears, wow.
Hoshi in the workout room. This is fucking insane. She does like 3 reps of this thing, then she gets up and moves the chair. Please.
Wait, I wrote it down. I got her whole, this is a Hoshi workout plan.
Because I almost said that too, but then I was like, well, maybe she's just adjusting the weight.
No, I wrote the whole thing down. She does 1 set of 4 reps of chest presses with the cable. Then she adjusts everything and she does 2 sets of 3 reps each of bicep curls. And then she's done with that and she goes and tries to get the dumbbells, but that's when her hand goes through them, so she can't finish. We don't know what else she does.
In the middle of all this, Shrimp is just doing the rotating thing.
Spinny
what
thing.
the fuck is that supposed to do?
The spinny thing is, again, we talked about this last week, but it's a toy from, I first saw these things like in the 1990s, like in the Sharper Image catalog. This is not a high-tech futuristic exercise gear.
I want to compare this with Archer and T'Pol's workout from One Night in Space, where Archer does like
I was just gonna say
a minute.
The Hoshi strength. This was the strength workout version of Archer getting on the treadmill for 2 minutes and then being done with his workout.
It's true.
In Hoshi's defense, if you're going to be trapped in the gym all day and all night, you got to pace yourself.
It's not even that she does like 3 reps is like, oh, the weight is fucked up, I need to get up. Like, she gets up and adjusts the chair so that she is doing.
Because at first I was like, maybe she's doing a circuit, like she's going to do this and then do this other thing. But then she definitely is not. Because also with the bicep curls, she does 2 sets, but there's only 3 reps in each set. And then she's done, and then she gets up and like adjusts everything so she can go do something else. It's wild. A wild workout. And I know I got it right because even when the camera wasn't on her, you could hear the cables.
Right.
So I turned up the sound and was listening in order to count so I could know exactly how many reps she was doing.
I like that it was just those cables she's pulling on. Like, again, it's the future, right? But this is that the gyms have not advanced at all. We have flippy toys and just tugging on cables.
No.
No, except now you have to press buttons that have no words on them and no labels to know how much weight you're using. They're literally
I thought that
just
was really
buttons
cool.
with it doesn't say anything, and you press a couple buttons, and she's presumably changing the amount of weight.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But how do you know? There's no screen that tells you, like, this is how much weight. You just press a bunch of buttons. By the way, same thing with the turbo lift. That was another note. The turbo lift you get on, there's no lever like in TOS.
Well, it's like a regular elevator. You press the button for the floor you want to go to.
Yeah, except that there's 4 buttons and there's no labels. Right. You can barely see the buttons because they're the same color as the wall. And people just get on and press a button. Are there only 4 places where you can pick up a turbo lift on the whole Enterprise?
Well,
maybe. Oh.
I'm going to get back into the turbo lift because we've talked about this. Like, the turbo lift can go anywhere on on original series. So maybe it's like, well, you can only go up to the 8th floor. Then you have to walk over and take the next one because this ship is not
But then you also have to memorize what each button for each elevator set is for because, again, nothing is labeled. They're just blank buttons.
Yep.
A very important follow-up question. Did y'all see the Stegosaurus pooping? Because that was definitely a Stegosaurus. The picture. At the very beginning, there was the cave drawing of the Stegosaurus pooping.
Did not.
I missed
cave drawing. Okay. Yeah.
There's no need.
In their hieroglyphics.
It's not important.
I mean, Linda Park, though, I haven't seen the show in 20-something years, and I remembered Scott Bakula, and I remembered like T'Pol and John Billingsley, who's Phlox. That's like a character actor. He's like, oh yeah, that guy I've seen in a lot of things. And Linda, I don't remember Linda Park being on Enterprise. And just look, I was like, I know I've seen this woman before, and I couldn't place her, so I had to IMDb her, and I know her from Bosch, the. Titus Welliver.
Yeah. She's
on Bosch. She was the police chief's wife on Bosch for a few seasons, and she was great on that. Yeah, I mean, Bosch was a fantastic show, but I had zero memory of her from Enterprise. So like, a few of the cast, I was like, oh, okay, I don't remember these people, but she was great.
Yeah, because you don't see them very much is the problem.
Yeah.
I loved the directing when she was like a ghost, and the scene in sickbay when like the camera pans over sickbay and you don't see her at first, and then suddenly she comes into view and she's like sitting in the background as they're talking about her.
Mm-hmm. They do that a bunch, like even in the scene with in the Jeffries tube where she's like she's right there watching them having the conversation.
She was terrific in this, I think, for what this is not a great episode, and I thought for with what she was given, and this is I'm guessing a rare starring episode for her. You know, this is an ensemble cast.
Only the second.
Yeah, and she was great. She did the best she could with this goofy story.
I love, you could see on her face the way she almost felt like she was slowly going mad over the course of the episode, and you can see her just like starting to fall apart.
Yep.
And it was so good. She's so good.
Okay, I'm going to hijack this episode. We need to spend 2.5 hours talking about the conversation with Hoshi's dad on this because I became obsessed with this.
Get comfortable, everybody.
I didn't even make a note about that. I just watched it and I was like, oh God.
It was so bad.
Before we get into this, first of all, I want the actor who plays Hoshi's dad is Keon Young. And I was like, who do I know this guy? This guy has been in everything.
Yeah.
This guy has
like a
worked
actor?
since the 80s.
Yeah.
He's a voice actor. He's been in everything. He's been in, oh God. It's not an awkward conversation. It is a nonsensical conversation.
But he's literally like, so where's my daughter? Like, he doesn't understand why Archer is talking to him because Archer is making it sound like Hoshi is alive.
And then Archer says, she's like family. And he's like, fuck you, she's actually my family.
Like, are you telling me you married my daughter? No, she is not part of your family. She's part of my family. And he's like, it literally feels like two AI models talking to each other.
I was going to make that same point. This does not sound like human beings.
The completely fucking weird part is that Hoshi's dad, the actor, is not looking at the screen. He's like looking off to the right. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Oh God, it's like, oh, Starfleet. We used a transporter. Starfleet told us it was completely safe. So you're telling me Hoshi was safe
and she's fine?
Yes, that's why I'm calling you from the depths of space.
But I do kind of love that, like, this is how Hoshi imagines a conversation with Archer and her dad going. Right? That's how she thinks it's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's all her perspective of how terrible that would be.
How many goats are you offering me for my daughter, Captain Archer?
I did keep thinking that. As everybody seemed just kind of weird and flat and zombie-like through the whole thing. And I had to keep thinking, okay, this is all Hoshi's dream, essentially. And it was nice. And I feel like I had an advantage over viewers watching this for the first time because Maria had already explained it to us.
Oh, no, most of this episode is a Hoshi's quote-unquote nightmare. But I just want to bring up a couple of things for listeners of previous episodes. This actor, who is fucking amazing in most other things, had appeared in an episode of MathNet, which I brought up before. But yes, Maria, he was in an episode of Remington Steele.
There
we go.
Yep. I fucking love Remington Steele, man.
This was in a series filled with awkward conversations. This might be the most awkward conversation that has ever happened.
So awkward.
Guys, can we talk about Hoshi's quarters? Because,
please.
Okay, so right after she gets back to the Enterprise, she goes to her quarters, she takes a shower, and then after the shower, she has her bathrobe on and she's looking in the mirror above a sink. Mm-hmm. And then Archer walks in. And I'm like, is this a bathroom? Did he? And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Does she just, maybe there's just a sink outside of the bathroom? But then in a later scene, when she's going into the shower, we see that sink is right next to the shower. So it either Archer walked into the bathroom to talk to her, or the crew's quarters don't have bathrooms, and just like your shower and presumably your toilet is just in your bedroom next to your bed.
As the captain, it's fully within his rights to just creepily enter any room.
Watch you poop.
Because I'm like, why? He goes in her room, and then she's wearing her bathrobe because she just got out of the shower. But also, like, she was literally, like, you can see the sink and that in the background when he's talking to her. He was in her bathroom, you guys.
I did not notice
Archer
this.
walked on her, in her bathroom, or they don't have bathrooms in crew quarters. Those are, like, the two options here.
You have a shared bathroom down the hallway.
Oh my God.
Another thing, we have to talk about this shower. So she goes in the shower and it has the normal, a shower. You have like a shower head that from above that like drips water on you, that sprays water on you from above. But then she has like on the wall the pump bottle with the soap. So as she's getting the soap, above the bottle, there was another shower head that was spraying water horizontally in her face as she's trying to get the soap. And that poor Linda Park is like trying, and you can see she's like blinking her eyes because it is spraying water directly into her face.
So freaking weird.
These are the showers of the future, Jamie. They're different.
Like, I don't understand what is going on with Hoshi's quarters.
Well, this is all a nightmare.
I made a note of it when she goes to see Phlox, the doctor, and is trying to describe her problems. The way she explained it or described it was so weird that I noted it. She said, "My shower can't decide whether to bounce off me or go through me."
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Hoshi. Thank you.
Because Maria, when you said it, it made more sense because you made it. You were like, she mentions that the water's like going through her hands,
Right.
and that
I
makes sense,
paraphrased.
but, like, I don't even understand how Phlox would know what she means by the shower bouncing off of her or going through. She doesn't say the shower
Right,
water.
it was a very strange way
She just
to...
says the shower.
Next time I go to see a doctor, that's exactly what I'm going to say when I go in.
Positivity. I want to say that when Hoshi finally starts seeing the aliens, who ultimately do not matter because apparently this is
They're
all
all
created.
made up in her goddamn head. Nothing matters.
Right. The way this was directed, like, these aliens seemed evil.
Yep.
Like, even though like if I'm doing my headcanon that these aliens were trying to send her back to the Enterprise, like, them physicality, they seem very like hunched over, and like they seem like fingers, and like they're not tapping things, they're swiping things. So I thought that was very
cool.
Very cool. They seemed monster-like.
After Maria, after you had described these aliens to us last week, they were way cooler looking in my head than the way they looked.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it seemed like
You made them sound so cool, and they looked not
it was like, okay,
cool.
like these are aliens that we're only going to use this one time for like 30 seconds, and so just a cheap mask.
Yeah.
Done.
That was some budget makeup.
Yes.
Here's my other big note is that, okay, so when they finally realize that something has gone wrong with Hoshi and they're trying to track her down, why the fuck isn't Trip in sickbay under like constant scanning him for everything that has gone wrong with him?
Right.
Also,
Right.
finally finding the remains of
Yes.
Hoshi and just scooping her into a tiny gift card size envelope that they are going to give her. That I started laughing so hard. It's like, Mr. and Mrs. Hoshi, I'm sorry. Here is your daughter.
Yeah, he had the little Hallmark envelope just chambered, just ready to go for this exact situation.
Scoop, 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 scoop. Snot.
And he didn't even scoop it all
No.
up. It
Yeah, there
wasn't
was so
even
much
like,
left. He just like was taking a sample.
It was like a little tiny swab of it, and the rest of it, and also
They just left it there. Yeah,
They
maybe
left
they
it.
came by later to clean it up.
they all just left it there. I thought even like what's his name, Trip, stayed there like talking to himself, but then no, he got up and left. Yeah, it was just this like blob of it. It was
Someone
like a
steps in it later.
yeah. It looked like it was just like a melted like butterscotch candy residue was left behind there.
the little Roomba that cleans the Jeffrey tubes comes by and just, it's fucking amazing.
I was confused about, like, we've been talking about how this is like the way kind of Hoshi views everyone, or sort of Hoshi's pathos, really.
Right. This is
And
the major
I was-
problem of the episode.
I was a little unsure if the writers actually mean for it to be that or
Yeah, who the
not.
hell knows?
Like, I'm actually like, I really came away being like, I can't tell if they were just having everybody be weird, or if they, in mind, were like, we want to show inside Hoshi's head, like Hoshi's fears that like people don't take her seriously, or it wasn't obvious to me whether we were supposed to take anything away about Hoshi based on the way the other characters were acting or not.
This is the fucking failing of this episode, and I understand that Trek eats itself, as we've discussed before. But if this episode is discussing Hoshi's fears about how she is perceived, it doesn't resolve itself. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't come out of this, like, she doesn't solve the problem and come out as a better character.
That was my biggest frustration. My biggest frustration with this was it's a Hoshi-centered episode that not only does it not move her character forward, it actually moves her character backward.
Yeah.
Because her character is now
We've seen
more
her gaining
scared.
confidence over time.
Yep, and all of that's gone.
This is my note, is Hoshi goes from a nightmare sequence where no one believes that she's suffering a problem back to the regular reality where no one believes her and doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, when she comes back at the end, they're still being dismissive to her. I'm like, wait, is she not woken up yet? Like, what's going on?
And she talks about the guy who died in the transporter accident. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about, you crazy bitch?
Actually, I wouldn't have minded the whole it was all a dream and none of it mattered if it had really good character moments. Like, if they had taken this further, I would have loved to see, like, it would have been fun if characters were playing, like, slightly exaggerated versions of themselves. Like, if Trip was just, like, very happy or something and, like, acting silly and, like, Phlox was, like, more distracted or, like, something, like... And this is sort of like the way Hoshi views them, and then it sort of slowly turns into nightmare. That would have been really fun. Like, I do think, like, the whole, oh, it was just a dream, it didn't matter. It would have mattered if it had moved Hoshi as a character forward.
Right, exactly.
But
and
it didn't.
Any other thoughts on this episode, which meant nothing and nothing happened?
The only other note I had, I think, was... when she first goes to meet with Phlox and he comes in and says, oh, sorry, I was just feeding my leeches. And I thought he was just making a joke about how, remember in the past, ancient history, they had doctors would treat people with leeches.
No.
But then later he was like, okay, I have to get back to feeding my animals. So they actually have leeches on Enterprise?
Yep. Oh, 100%. He's mentioned the leeches before.
And to be fair, like, doctors use leeches today.
Yeah.
Like, leeches are used in medical practice today.
Phlox has his menagerie of, like, he has creatures that if you put it on a wound, it will heal the
Phlox does not have
stuff,
any medications unless it's, like, the bile of one of his pets that he himself extracted. He does not do medications. He does not have bandages. All he has are creatures.
Wow.
Here's where this episode could have been great. If Hoshi had gone through an episode where she disappeared and maybe she saw, like, every member of the crew saying, like, this is what, it's a wonderful life. This is what Hoshi meant to me. This is like...
Or I was also thinking about that, like a scene where Travis had sort of a mirror scene.
Was Travis in the episode?
He wasn't. But do you remember when Travis, quote unquote, died in Dead Stop?
Yeah.
And there was that scene where Hoshi talks about how much Travis meant to her.
Oh, like, a mirror version of that would have been so good.
Having a mirror of that would have been so
if they
cool
had
and interesting.
A fucking funeral for Hoshi on the show.
If Hoshi had not become invisible, if all it was is just people were more and more dismissive of her, that would have been good too. Yep. If she's like, you guys, I saw these aliens, and they're like, oh, shut up, Hoshi, like, we don't believe you. That actually would have been good too, and she would just be getting frustrated and, like, nobody believes her, so she's got to save them herself. Like, that would have been good. We've come up with, like, 10 scenarios that would have been better than what they did.
Here's the frustrating thing, Jamie, is that that's what happened in the show, is that she came back to the reality, and they were like, we have to stop these aliens who are planting bombs, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? There are no aliens on this ship. You were away for 8 seconds.
Right. It was a show about Hoshi being gaslit that gaslit us, the audience.
Yes. I'm picturing a funeral scene though, Bill, and I'm just imagining them just scraping out the tiny envelope into a casket.
The torpedo tube is maybe like 2 inches big.
No, it's a full-size torpedo tube with the tiny envelope in.
Yes.
And someone just throws it in there. Yeah. And they're playing like an ocarina. My ultimate note is that this was okay. It had no stakes because it was ultimately all just a dream, but it's not enough to show us the first time something has happened. A transporter accident. Okay? This is a prequel-itis problem from Star Wars and Star Trek and all these things. You have to tell us a story that is at least as good as the other episodes, Barkley in TNG when he had the transporter problems, Beverly and Remember Me. It's not enough to do this for new audiences who have never seen Star Trek before.
Also the one where they disappeared and were ghosts.
Right.
Exactly. This has been done so many times before. It's not enough to say, well, new people haven't seen this before, and this is a show for new people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the Scotty episode of Next Generation, where he was like trapped
In the transporter buffer.
transporter beam. You know, like they've done such clever stuff with the transporter in the past.
I actually thought for a moment when I was watching this, I was like, oh, is Hoshi the first victim of transporter psychosis? Because they talk about that in the Barkley episode. And I was like, that would be cool.
Right.
Oh my
Like,
god.
Yeah.
that would be so neat. Nope. Okay. Our next segment is our Mammary Alpha segment, where Jamie is going to be talking about a fun page that she found on Memory Alpha.
So first of all, actually a quick update on my Memory Alpha account status. I did finally pass the 4-day wait period after making account, so I can now edit pages. Does not let you edit pages right away.
This user has been permanently banned from editing pages on breasts on Memory Alpha.
I have now officially made exactly one edit on Memory Alpha, and it was on the page for breast. No,
Oh
there
my
is not,
God.
Bill. There is not a Memory Alpha page for breasts. There is a page for breast singular,
My apologies.
How dare you?
where I added the quote from Archer from A Night in Sickbay when he says, "I'm doing the breast that I can."
Amazing.
Thank you. But today I would like to talk about the Memory Alpha page for nipple.
Wouldn't we all?
So it's a very sparse page. There is very little on here. There is one photo. Do you guys want to guess what the photo is?
Oh, I can. Maria, do you want to
I'm
go?
sure you know. I bet you can guess it.
No.
It is from Carbon Creek.
It's a
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
If it's just Memory Alpha, it must be something more.
It is
Was there
from
a-
ENT. It's from something we've seen. Guys, what is the only
Oh, the
nipple
three
that we
boob-
have seen? No.
Oh, wasn't
No,
there like a
the
nipple that
wrist
grew
nipple.
on it?
We had a whole episode named wrist
Oh.
nipples, you guys.
Yes.
Sadly, I actually knew this. I actually seen this page, so I knew that.
I assumed it was the Carbon Creek of T'Pol's ancestor changing behind the. Okay.
It
fair
is
enough.
a close-up of Trip Tucker's wrist nipples, and it is
Right.
labeled
Yeah, my
caption Trip Tucker's wrist nipples.
boy. Okay.
One of your first episodes. I remember that.
This page starts out, a nipple is a structure from which a fluid emanates. Period.
That's it?
Wow.
This is all the information.
That's a shower.
The entire definition.
Yeah,
That's a shower head.
A tap is a nipple.
Well, you can't have mammals in other planets, so it would have
Oh
to
my
be.
god.
Almost everything is a nipple.
And then it does say, in biological terms, it is the section of the body through which nourishment is transferred from parent to infant. But yeah. And then it talks about Commander Tucker being impregnated and getting nipple growth on his wrist.
Mhm.
It then talks about female Klingons. Okay, wait. It says the sentence: female Klingons had nipple on their breasts.
Female
Female-
Klingons had nipple on their breast. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Female Klingons had nipple on their breasts. And then in parentheses, Discovery, the episode Into the Forest I Go.
So there's a specific Star Trek episode where they established that.
Have not seen Discovery, but apparently you see a female Klingon had nipple on breast in that episode.
Wow. So before a certain episode of Discovery, nobody knew if Klingons had nipples or not. Okay.
Sorry, not
Oof.
nipples, had nipple on their breasts. It's funny because nipple is
That is
singular,
singular.
but breast is plural.
Yeah.
That's up there with Maria's slip of where computer at?
Where computer at?
So a Klingon just has one nipple, like either
Female
on.
Klingons had, not have, had nipple on
Yeah.
their
Move on.
breasts.
2 breasts, 1 nipple.
So anyways, that's basically it. There is a weird one where it says nipples were not generally shown in Star Trek the Animated Series. And I'm like, well,
Yeah, because it was a cartoon.
Generally showed.
so
What's
weird.
the exception?
It's so weird to be like, nipples were not generally shown on this. Why would you say that?
It was a Saturday morning cartoon.
Also,
No
every
nipples.
every other Star Trek that we haven't seen a nipple, you could say nipples
Zero
were
nipples.
not generally shown on this.
Let's go frame by frame.
Anyways, other than that, it does mention there's an episode of Star Trek Discovery where you do see female frontal nudity, which I guess is a Klingon's nipples. So maybe that's what the other sentence was referring
Discovery?
to. And that's it.
I gotta stop
I
watching
haven't
more
seen
Star
Discovery.
Trek.
I did not realize that there was full frontal nudity on Discovery.
I have seen
That's
Discovery, and I do not remember full frontal nudity. I feel
It
like
says
I
in
would.
the form of the Klingon Lorel's nipples, albeit briefly. In Ash Tyler's flashback nightmare, I don't know who these people are.
Okay.
I've seen Discovery.
Fine,
It must have been
whatever.
very subtle.
probably like a
And
corpse in the
honestly,
background.
like,
Yeah. Mhm.
all of those flashbacks were nightmares. Like they were horrible. So yeah.
I like that there was somebody like there was some perv scrutinizing frame by frame. Okay, here we go. Now I can
Here's the
update the
nipple.
nipple
I'm
data
sitting
online.
right here, Kevin. I'm sitting right here.
I'm not naming names, Bill.
Okay. And anybody have anything else?
After that, no.
No, that's all I have for you today in today's Memory Alpha.
Okay, and that's the episode. Thank you for listening. In the next episode, our guest host, Rebecca, will be telling us about the episode Precious Cargo. Kevin, thank you so much for coming back to revisit this episode with us.
You're so sorry.
What a load of nonsense.
It's been terrific hanging out with this wacky Enterprise-splaining crew. Truly a treat for me to hang out with you guys. This is super fun.
Kevin, remind people where they can find you online or in person if they want to stalk you, maybe.
I do a podcast which is arguably sillier than this show, if that's possible. My show, my show is called the Flopcast, and it's a weekly, just super goofy, nerdy show about kind of all things pop culture, but especially kind of nostalgic pop culture of the 70s, 80s, 90s. And we are also, just like this show, we are part of the ESO network. So you can find us right here on ESO.
Special thanks to K.O. Myers at Particulate Media for sound assistance, to our friend David for the beautiful cover art, and to John Stephen King for being the voice of our computer. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice, and tell your friends about it. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Enterprise Splaining, and on Blue Sky as at Enterprise Splain. You can also email us any questions or comments, such as, does Klingon have nipple on breast? To enterprisesplaining@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And if you'd like to support this podcast, you can find us at Buy Me a Coffee as Enterprise Splaining. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Please, for the love of God, keep that barking in. That is amazing.
Do you want to talk about merch?
And also, Jamie, you have some
You can talk about it. I don't know why I have to talk about it.
And also,
Guys,
we have
I
some...
have to be at work tomorrow at 7 a.m. Let's move along.
Ryan. And also, if you are interested in
Calling all Whovians, dive into the time vortex with Earth Station Who, the podcast that celebrates the legacy, present, and future of Doctor Who.
From classic adventures with the First Doctor to thrilling stories of the 15th, we've got it all covered.
For lively discussions, geeky debates, the Whovian Geek Seat, and a whole lot of TARDIS talk.
On Z to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to Earth Station Who, where every episode is a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey good time.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping for the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.